I like being older and single though, because when you're a guy in your 20s and you're single, every decision you make revolves around getting laid. I was the same way. Most toxic girl would call me at like 2 in the morning. I'd be sleeping in Chicago and just be like, I want to come over. Come pick me up. I'd be like, yeah, sounds great. Where you at? It's like, I'm in Milwaukee. I'm like, yeah, I'll see you in 95 minutes. And I go.
This stage, he has a dry bar special. Give it up right now for Paul Farahvar!
I just got into town like an hour ago. I'm from Chicago, but I was in Florida trying to get COVID again. It's great. Like, it's their #1 export. I took Southwest Airlines. I love Southwest Airlines. A lot of people are still upset about them because of last year. Like, I think they're great, especially now, because like they're like an abusive boyfriend that knows they fuck up. You know, like they overcompensate. Like, we were taking off, the pilot's like, oh, we're about to take off, but you could keep your seats reclined. We're cool now. I grabbed someone's bag by accident, like, keep it, it's yours. They're great. They're great. The only problem I have with them is the flight attendants. They think they're comedians. And as a comedian, that's offensive. Like, I don't do their job of, like, fucking pilots, you know? Like, and before that, I was in Las Vegas. Cool city, 4 stars out of 10. It's fine. I was there during Christmas, and if you're like me, you wonder who goes to Vegas on Christmas and then goes to a comedy show. I could tell you it's not people who want to laugh. Like, they were not happy. A lot of puffy faces, looked like they cried all day. You know what I mean? And before that, I was in a place called Star City, Arkansas. Yeah, there's more people in this room than that whole city. Right after the show, this woman came up to me. She's like, say, you look like Luke Bryant, but like in 20 years. I looked him up. We're the same age. I fucking hate Arkansas so much. But I go to Florida a lot because my parents moved there. They sold the childhood home that I grew up in until I was 37 and moved to Florida. They spent $17,000 on moving trucks. The stuff in those trucks was worth $900 tops. And last time I was in Florida, I was there on June 19th, the day African Americans celebrate freedom. And I was at the beach, and this guy was complaining about the holiday. He's like, this is bullshit. I'm like, #1, it's not bullshit. We should always celebrate freedom, whether it's a race or someone who got divorced. It doesn't matter, you know? And #2, who cares? You're at the beach on a Monday. Like, would you rather go into your crappy job and be like, screw this, I'd rather make copies at Kinko's? Like, in Illinois, we had a day off called Casimir Pulaski Day growing up. Yeah, for the Polish community. I didn't know who he was. I knew he had the day off. I thought it was a national holiday until I went away to college. And I went up to my roommates. I'm like, hey, guys, it's Casimir Pulaski Day. And they're like, what the hell is that? I'm like, I don't know, but we don't have to go to school. And we did have to go to school. Felt like my freedom was taken away. And I saw this commercial for pod storage and moving. Have you guys seen this commercial lately? They show this happy couple moving boxes into the pods. I'm like, that's not who uses pods. They should show a guy gathering his clothes from the grass that was thrown from a 3rd-story window, where he's yelling up, baby, I can change. And then it just says, pods, we think you can change too. So I'm single again. It's cool when you guys are young and single, but like, this is your future if you don't try harder. I like being older and single though, because when you're a guy in your 20s and you're single, every decision you make revolves around getting laid. I was the same way. Most toxic girl would call me at like 2 in the morning. I'd be sleeping in Chicago and just be like, I want to come over. Come pick me up. I'd be like, yeah, sounds great. Where you at? It's like, I'm in Milwaukee. I'm like, yeah, I'll see you in 95 minutes. And I go. One thing I'm not going to do anymore is go to music fests, because I don't think people your age like when people my age go to your shit. You guys are in your 20s, right? 20s? Yeah. Fuck yeah. It sucks. I was doing comedy at a music fest called Innings Fest, and I was called like Boomer 80 times. I went to get a drink, and I was waiting in line, and the girl in front of me was wearing like those high-waisted denim shorts. You know what I'm talking about? Those are stupid. But I was staring at her anyway because I'm a creep, right? And all of a sudden, two girls wearing the same exact uniform cut in front of me, and I just overhear this girl go, "Oh my God, Kelsey is so messed up. Her eyes are rolling in back of her head. Her body's all convulsy. We hid her under a tree so security wouldn't kick her out." What? And I think I audibly said, "Excuse me?" And the girl just turns around and goes, "Sir, we're not cutting. We're telling our friend about our other friend, Kelsey." I'm like, "I know. I'm invested in Kelsey right now. She's dead." You know? And she just runs off like, whatever, and like runs off. So I'm stuck talking to the girl that's originally in line. I'm like, hey, your friend needs medical attention. You need to do something. It's like, she does this all the time. Last year, we almost missed the headliner because we took her to the hospital. All they did was pump her stomach again. So Kelsey has a drug problem, which isn't mine anymore. So I start talking to the girl. Turns out her name is Mackenzie with an I. She goes to Rand Community College in West Virginia, the graduate program. I didn't know that was possible. She's studying to become a drug counselor. Already crushing it. She just turns to me, she goes, "Aren't you too old to be here?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "What, are you like 29? I'm like, "You're drunk." She's like, 31? I'm like, "I'm not playing this game with you." She's like, 37? I'm like, "Enough with the prime numbers, okay?" And I told her my age. She says, "Oh my God, you're like way older than my mom." And at first, I'm like, "That's impossible." But then I did the math. I'm like, "Oh, that makes sense," especially if you're from West Virginia, you know? It's true. We get to the front of the line, and the guy who's serving drinks recognizes me from doing this set. He's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a celebrity in the house." And everybody behind the beer tent starts giving me a round of applause and a standing ovation, right? I mean, they're already standing because that's how you serve alcohol. Clear sarcasm, right? Mackenzie with an I doesn't understand these social cues. So she just turns to me, she goes, "Are you famous?" And I go, "Yeah." It's like, "I knew you looked familiar." So I got her number. But she thinks my name is Luke Bryan, so that's good. It's fine. You guys are fun. This is a fun job. I love doing comedy. I had different jobs before I did comedy. I was actually a musician for a while. I was in 14 bands in Chicago. What's up, ladies? I do comedy because I was asked to leave 14 bands in Chicago. Do you know how bad you have to be at rhythm guitar to be asked to leave 14 bands that you started? But that didn't work, so I became a lawyer for a while. Yeah, I was a lawyer for 13 and a half years. But on July 3rd, 2016, I stopped to pursue a career as a full-time comedian. That's a nice way to say my law firm made that decision for me. I did insurance defense litigation, which is what you do when you graduate ranked 203rd out of 204 students. You guys see those billboards where they say, "I'm going to get you the money you deserve for your injuries"? I was the guy on the other side of the case being like, "Maybe not." Like, how do we know that wasn't a pre-existing broken hip? But people always ask my legal thoughts when they find out I'm a lawyer, especially when things are in the news. They think I have legal insight. Like, "What do you think of this whole Trump indictment, Paul? What are your thoughts as a lawyer?" I'm like, unless the indictment has to do with a rear ender he had on the highway involving damage to the bumper to a Ford Focus, I'm not really qualified to talk about it. Like, "What do you think of this caravan immigrants, Paul? What are your thoughts as a lawyer?" I'm like, "Is it a Dodge Caravan?" I had a comedian come up to me recently, "Hey, Paul, I got a DUI." I'm like, "Great." So So did I. July 3rd, 2016. You guys are great. My name is Paul Farahvar. Thank you so much.
Keep it going for Paul Farahvar, everybody.